After 3 months of training, race week is finally here. I've run 13.1 miles before, so this time I'm trying to beat that last time. Now I'll tell you everything that I did to prepare for this race, but first, one last run. Okay, we are back from our run. Let's talk about everything that I did that got me ready for this half marathon coming up on Sunday. Now, the first factor, of course, is the running plan. What kind of training plan did I follow? It's the same plan that I used that a buddy of mine made for me for my first half marathon back in February. It consists of 3 phases, basically like a build phase or a foundational phase to lay the groundwork. This was about 2 to 3 running days a week and about 2 to 3 easy miles per run. Next, we went into phase 2, which was like the peak phase. So in the peak phase, your long runs are getting longer. We're doing track workouts. Each week, that long run was set to increase by at least 10%. No more than 10%, because that's what prevents you from getting injuries. You do too much too soon, it could lead to injuries, which is actually what happened to me during this training plan. We'll talk about that later though. And then finally, it's the taper phase, which I just finished with this run today. The taper phase, I basically pulled back a little bit. Your long runs get shorter. It's more about recovery and not spending so much time on feet to where you're gonna exhaust yourself before the race day. Obviously, running is important, and getting good at running and used to running is important. But what helps that is the nutrition. I basically fuel the same way that I've been fueling my body. It's the same way that I lost 50 pounds over the past year. The only minor adjustment that I did make is that on heavy running days or long run days, I would eat a little bit more carbs and sometimes more fat, just kind of dependent on how I feel. I should also mention that I've been intermittent fasting for about 8 to 9 months. However, if I have a long run in the morning, then I'm not gonna fast before that. So any run that I did that was over 60 minutes, I would bring fuel with me. Right now I'm using BPN Go Gels. In addition to that, if I'm doing a long run, I'm gonna eat breakfast in the morning. So every long run that I got, once I got to about 6 miles, I would treat that as a mock race day morning routine. So for me, my race day morning routine is a bagel drizzled with some honey, half a banana, and a cup of black coffee. And on non-running days, or maybe just short running days, I would just stick to my normal calorie deficit, just making sure I'm getting enough micronutrients, so proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. That approach worked very well for me throughout this training plan, but the biggest thing that I learned overall wasn't about the mileage or nutrition. It was to just take your time, trust the process, and don't overdo it. After my first half marathon, I decided it was a great idea to go out and run 11 miles like 4 days later. What ended up ultimately happening is that I injured my hip. I ended up losing about 2 or 3 weeks of training because of that anxiousness and eagerness to get back out there and to keep running. So since then I've learned, like, don't force it. Just follow the plan, trust that process. Like, somebody created these plans for a reason. There's like doctors and scientists and sports nutritionists. Like, people didn't just make this stuff up. So I've decided to fall back and take it a step at a time and not rush it, not try to get ahead of the training process. So because of that, once I get done with this next half marathon, I've already got a built-in complete full week off of doing no kind of running whatsoever. And then on May 24th, I'm gonna start my actual 20-week plan to do my first full marathon. To sum it all up, there's several factors that need to be considered when you're training for a half marathon or a full marathon once I get there. But the biggest thing is, like, to respect each process. Don't overdo it. Listen to your body, because if you push it, you're going to regret it later on. And then ultimately, I'd say to have fun. My first half marathon, I was so locked in. I was so focused. I had the earbuds in on loud. I didn't hear the crowd cheering. I feel like it just like flew by and it was just over. I didn't enjoy the environment of it. So I'll say anybody doing your first half marathon, like live in that moment. Appreciate the fact that you're surrounded by thousands of people who love running as much as you do, and that's why they paid money to go out there and sweat right next to you. So this next Sunday, this coming Sunday, I'm gonna be a little bit more in it. I'm gonna be more in the moment, and I'm gonna live in it, and I'm gonna appreciate the blessing that it is to be able to go out there and try to run 13.1 miles. I've learned a lot about myself and about running and fitness in general over these past couple of months, and now I'm ready for Sunday. The half marathon is the test, the full marathon is the mission. Stay the course, and I'll see y'all in the next video.